Pro players have really started catching on to how broken Radiant Virtue is, and it's boosting many champions' power levels. Now that the Ravenous Hydra nerfs have been live for about a week, how impactful have they been? We've got all this and much more to cover in our updated 12.23b tier list, thanks to the help of our challenger players in analyzing the most up-to-date stats. And if you didn't know, the preseason is arguably the best time to get way better at League of Legends. The reason is because when you focus on improving your own skills instead of just doing whatever it takes to scrape a win, you do tend to lose a little more in the short term in exchange for huge gains in the long term. So if you're thinking of mastering your macro skills and not joining every team fight, but instead trying to learn how to become a split-pushing god, or if you're looking to learn a new role or bootcamp your mechanics, then enroll to our world-class courses as we teach every fundamental you could ever need with the world's largest premium library for League of Legends. And better yet, if you join SkillCap for the long haul, then for just $6.99 a month, you can get a 1-year membership to SkillCap. And if you don't climb at least 5 divisions while actively using SkillCap, you can claim a full refund, so there's no risk. This subscription also grants you access to WoW Dragonflight, Valorant, and Wrath of the Lich King. So check us out right after this, link in the description below. And with that said, let's move on to today's guide. It's no secret how broken Mundo is right now, but another tank top laner really flying under the radar is Zac. What makes Zac top so insane is his ability to abuse the Demonic Embrace Heartsteel combo and run the build into health stacking top laners. Zac actually has a positive win rate against Mundo, which very few top laners can say right now. Fiora is really the only meta champion you gotta worry about, so if playing Zac top, you can just ban her out. By running Grasp as the keystone, you can win out on these quick trades extremely well with Zac. Playing around your cooldowns is very key with Zac top, as he does not win out on extended trades pre-6. Once you take a few favorable trades, you can then zone the enemy completely off the wave due to the threat of your engage from E. Zac is one of the best solo queue top laners for 12.23b, placed in our S tier. Now that it's been about a week since the Mundo nerfs, how negatively have they affected him? Not very much at all, to be honest, and he's still the #1 top laner for the lower elos. Mundo is so simple to pick up, he's a late game god, especially because his E damage scales off health now, which makes him a phenomenal low elo pick. Despite his recent nerfs, Mundo remains an OP tier top laner. Mundo, Fiora, and Shen continue to outperform and are the 3 OP tier tops for 12.23b. K'Sante is in a great spot right now due to his recent buffs. If you guys want to learn more about the champion, our challenger top laner Strompist has a brand new full game live commentary on our website detailing exactly how to play K'Sante. In regards to the Ravenous Hydra nerfs, it looks like we may be in store for a 4th round in the coming patch. It's now clear the 12.23 nerfs have not significantly reduced the power level of Ravenous, at least for top lane champions. Some junglers are better off without now, but top laners like Fiora, Camille, and Tryndamere continue to perform extremely well with Ravenous. Maybe by the time we hit Season 14, Ravenous will be balanced. The best low elo top laners of the patch are Mundo, Mordekaiser, and Fiora. Optimal bans for the top lane include Fiora, Darius, and Mundo. One jungler moving back up into S tier for 12.23b is going to be Kindred. Kindred currently wins against all of the 7 most played junglers and does especially well into Hecarim, who was just nerfed. Sylas being spammed a ton gives Kindred great value as they can kite him around and negate his burst power. Sylas jungle is way more reliant on his upfront damage and being able to take out a target quickly due to his burstier build of Night Harvester with Dark Harvest, so Kindred R can shut that down perfectly. Build versatility is so nice for Kindred too, with Blade of the Ruined King being viable against tankier comps and the Collector amazing into squishies. As we mentioned in the intro, Radiant Virtue is picking up traction on a bunch of champions for 12.23b, and one of its best users is Nunu. Jaksho was just recently nerfed, and although the item is still a great pickup, Radiant Virtue is equally as strong now. Being more of a utility tank jungler, Nunu performs great with Virtue as he can help buff up his teammates. Nunu is one of the best champions at finding catch plays on enemies caught out of position, and with Radiant Virtue, it allows your team to follow up and punish the enemy's mistakes really well. Radiant Virtue in a Sunfire and Thornmail is a sample 3-item core. As one of the best tank junglers for 12.23b, Nunu will be placed in our S tier. So for the complete jungle tier list, we have Udyr, Master Yi, Evelynn, Echo, and Rammus locking down OP tier spots. Junglers have been hit harder than laners due to the Ravenous Hydra nerfs, and losing a good chunk of power have been Zed and Lee Sin. Really, the only thing keeping Lee afloat over the past few patches had been the fact Ravenous was so broken, so with it being nerfed, Lee is now one of the worst solo queue junglers. We had originally moved Rammus into S at the start of the patch due to his nerfs, but he hasn't fallen off as much as expected analytically. Being a jungler who's exceptionally strong at the lower ranks as well, we have moved Rammus back into the OP tier. Elise is an extremely strong jungler at the moment if you can pilot her well. Diamond and above Elise is definitely an OP pick, but for Diamond and below, which is where we cater our tier list for, she's a smidge below that OP tier threshold, which is why you will find her in S. The best low elo junglers of the patch are Rammus, Mordekaiser, and Dr. Mundo. In fact, we just uploaded a live commentary to our website for Mundo Jungle, so check it out if you want to collect some free elo. As for the best jungle bans, Rammus, Master Yi, and Udyr are all solid options. Mid lane Karma has been seeing a ton of success in 12.23b, and can you guess why that's been the case? If you're thinking it's because of the fact she can abuse Radiant Virtue, then you're spot on. Radiant is actually the most popular rush item on Karma mid and winning over 54% of the time, which is completely nuts. The value you get out of Radiant is insane because Karma's ultimate has such a short cooldown. This means whenever the Radiant passive is up, you're guaranteed to be able to proc it right away. Karma mid is just a safe and reliable pick as you're always going to be useful due to the utility she provides, while her laning power is not to be understated. The only matchups Karma mid struggles against are long-ranged pick champs like Lux or Syndra. For the complete core build, it's a Radiant Virtue Rush into Chemtech Putrefier 2nd and Redemption or Frozen Heart 3rd. Aerie works best as the keystone to amplify poke power in lane and provide your team with stronger shields. As for Karma's tier list placement, you can find her in S as one of the better solo queue mids. As a result of the 12.23b Stormrazor buffs, it started to outperform Phantom Dancer as a second purchase on Tristana mid. Trist mid being a champion that can push leads and snowball extremely hard gives Stormrazor really nice value. Trist mid can almost play like an assassin when she gets ahead, so the extra upfront burst that Stormrazor provides works really well. Phantom Dancer is superior when you're taking very extended fights due to the item offering more attack speed. Stormrazor has more AD and also gives you the energized bonus damage, which enables Tristana mid to pick off targets much easier. The two item core of Gale Force and Stormrazor lets you play hyper aggro, so if you like that kind of style, then definitely look into Trist mid. Tristana will be placed in our mid lane S tier as one of the more undervalued champs. For the mid lane tier list, there's no match to cast it in right now, so he remains the only OP mid. We'll be placing K'Sante on the mid lane tier list for the first time, as many pro players, including Faker, have been playing him mid in solo queue. K'Sante is a really strong pick into many of the melee mid lane champions. Despite Ravenous being nerfed, Tryndamere mid is still a super insane pick with the item. Our challenger expert Shori has a new live commentary for you guys on our website highlighting the power of Trynd mid. The optimal low elo mids to climb the fastest are Swain, Malzahar, and Heimerdinger. Zed, Kassadin, and Vex are three of the best mid lane bans. Despite the recent Ravenous Hydra nerfs, one ADC who the Koreans are loving the item on is Jhin. Jhin is a very unique ADC in the sense that buying attack speed does not affect how fast he can auto-attack. For that reason, building an item that can provide you with a maximum of 85 flat AD works super well for the champ. The added pushing power feels really good too, and helps you acquire priority over waves very quickly in the mid game. Ravenous into Gale Force 2nd and Rapid Fire Cannon 3rd is the core build to try. In regards to Jhin's tier list placement, he's a really solid S tier option for 12.23b. For the ADC tier list, Twitch, Tristana, and Kai'Sa are the three champions we rate the highest for the current meta. Thanks to her recent buffs, Zeri is back in a really good spot for solo queue and on the verge of pushing back into S tier. To learn more about Zeri, we have a brand new live commentary on 12.23b just uploaded to our website. Despite Vayne being in a weaker state overall, there's a new build Koreans are playing giving her some life. It's actually a Titanic Hydra Rush with Rageblade 2nd and Hurricane 3rd. So much splash damage from this setup and a ton of pushing power, which is something that Vayne severely lacks in her kit. You're pretty tanky as well due to the health from Titanic, so some added margin for error is always nice. The best low elo bot lane carries for 12.23b are Tristana, Misfortune, and Ziggs. Draven, Kai'Sa, and Samira are a few of the best value bans. The one support exploding in power due to many players catching on to the strength of Radiant Virtue is Bard. Bard players rushing Radiant are winning 55% of the time opposed to Locket players at 51%. After all, Bard is a champion who thrives on his ability to find catch plays with R, so by rushing Radiant Virtue, it can really help to accelerate leads. Locket on Bard just doesn't make as much sense for solo queue, where you want to be playing aggro and taking advantage of Bard's roaming and catch potential. The full build is actually incredibly unique as you rush Radiant Virtue, go into Randuin 2nd, and Force Nature 3rd. You don't really even play like a ranged champion with this build, as you're able to get right up close to the enemies, which makes lining up Q stuns way easier. The Wandering Caretaker will be placed in our support S tier for 12.23b. For the support tier list, OP champs consist of Amumu, Heimerdinger, Blitzcrank, Maokai, and Janna. Amumu is super nuts right now and one of the best solo carry supports, which is why we uploaded a new live commentary for the champion to our website. Not just Bard, but Rakan is another support that players are finding pretty insane results with Radiant Virtue. Shirelia's is by no means a bad purchase on Rakan now, but Radiant Virtue is simply outperforming it. Rakan is in a very powerful spot overall too, as he plays well with the OP tier ADCs being Twitch, Tristana, and Kai'Sa. Rakan loves an ADC who can follow up on his hard engage, and all three of those ADCs can do just that. Best low elo supports of the patch are Brand, Heimerdinger, and Zyra. Using your ban on one of Amumu, Blitzcrank, or Heimerdinger is great value. Alright guys, before we wrap this up, let's tell you a little more about skill caps. So, we offer a 5-division rank up guarantee, and think that's a pretty crazy thing to offer. It's like a gym membership guaranteeing you'll get ripped. Your local gym would go bust if they offered that, right? Not us. We've offered this for years because our service really does work. It works so well, in fact, that we're able to produce by far the largest catalog of premium league guides on the internet. We add over 20 videos a week, with over 1,600 guides curated into over 100 courses no one can compare. We've also sent challenger players into Elo Hell 714 times and counting, where they commentate how to carry live. They also respond to all questions asked. Sign up today for as little as $6.99 a month if you are serious about improving. So there you have it guys, a quick update on the solo queue meta as we reach the midway point of 12.23b. Thank you all so much for watching, good luck on the Rift, and we will see you in the next one.